What an absolute wild day. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. We have the FOMC rate decision. We live streamed it today. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates by 25 basis points. Market initially reacting in a somewhat positive way, and then it began to tank, especially when Jerome Powell began to speak. He said things that really stood out to me. The thing that stood out to me was, again, we might want to wait a cycle, meaning that he or the market was already expecting that the Federal Reserve was going to cut interest rates in December. But based off of what he said today, the Federal Reserve committee is somewhat split on this. They might want to wait a cycle as they've already cut interest rates twice this year, where again, inflation is still rising, and it's not like the labor market is actually getting worse. At least economic data doesn't support it because economic data isn't really being reported on the federal level due to the government shutdown. So he gave the analogy of like driving in the fog. When you can't really see, you just proceed with caution. And that's what he wants to do with up and coming FOMC rate decisions. He wants to proceed with caution instead of being, overly aggressive as most of the market wants him to be, which I 100% agree with him because, again, the Federal Reserve has always been very straightforward that they are data dependent. That was my understanding of the FOMC rate decision today. Did we cut interest rates? Yes. Will they continue to cut interest rates in December on the next FOMC rate decision? We still don't know. They're pretty split, but based off of what he said today, he was more dovish than he was hawkish, which is why the market retraced but quickly bought it up. And then when big tech reported earnings, Google shot up, but then the other two, Microsoft and Meta, saw an initial retracement. Let's quickly talk about that. Wanted to highlight also the loss that I took on PLTR. PLTR, I lost $336 on this trade. This was an absolute waste of a trade. I was chasing this stock because I thought it was an overbought reversal. I don't know if it was just me, but I literally couldn't find anything that met my criteria today. If it did reverse, it was already too oversold. I didn't see it to be worth the risk. And if it was overbought, it just wasn't selling off until extended hours. And at that point, it's just much more challenging. I just wasted my day watching PLTR. So I took a small loss on it, $336, left myself with my one lucky share, and that's all. I did end up shorting Microsoft, and I made $1,700. I announced this one to my LPP team. So if you're part of our team, we announced it in the trade ideas section, letting them know that when it was testing, that's on the 5 minute, but on the 1 minute, when it was testing the moving average, it was setting up an overbought reversal, one of my favorite setups. I took an initial short, and as it sold off even more and broke below EMA, I added more to my short at signs of support. I took profits. It was not a home run of a trade, again, and that's what I recapped today, is that even the money that I did make today with Microsoft, it wasn't a home run. It was an after hours play. I don't even really like trading this. And I just made the most of it. Obviously, there was another big move where it tried to recover leading up to guidance, and then the guidance call started and it tanked to retest same previous support. That was a big move. Again, I can't predict those, so I called it quits after this solid win, and I moved on from there. Left myself with my one lucky share. The only other one that I ended up trading was Meta. Meta sold off. I bought the dip on it. It tried to recover. I reduced. It sold off again. Retest. I bought the dip. It went to recover. Again, not a home run of a trade. Still made $1,000, $1,100. Left myself with that one lucky share, but that's it. So wanted to also talk about some of the news, right? So Palantir stock hits all-time highs to break 200 with a PE ratio of 650 times its earnings. Again, a $500 billion market cap, yet it's a company that barely makes, I don't even think it's in the billions when it comes down to its actual net revenue. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. So if we pull up PLTR, again, nearly $500 million, yet it makes $772 million a year in net income. Again, I get it. It's a growth company. It has a really good story, but please do not over leverage yourself with these incredibly overvalued and overhyped up stocks. I thought this was a really good analogy of today. At least this is how I felt. All the gains today after market hours, really, at least for me and my experience today, regular trading hours, did not really see that. Bitcoin dropped to lows of 109 after the Fed's 25 basis point rate cut announced that it's going to end quantitative tightening as macro concerns weighed on the overall markets. Doesn't really surprise me. Again, Bitcoin has been showing every red flag of a slowdown. Wow, the first nonprofit to IPO. Love that for capitalism. I'm doing this because I love it. And this is Sam Altman, the CEO and founder of OpenAI. It still baffles me how it's even allowed to have that structure of a nonprofit entity, but yet it's going to be IPO'd, and people are speculating that they think that it's going to have a market cap valuation of $1 trillion. Yet again, OpenAI doesn't even make more than $5 billion in revenue a year. It's insane, but we'll see how things continue to develop. Also, wanted to keep you guys up to date. President Trump instructs the Department of War to start testing U.S. nuclear weapons immediately. I believe this is in response to what has been seen with Russia, that Russia had its first successful test of its nuclear submarine missile where it could send tsunami-like waves to neighboring islands. So I don't know if this is Trump also trying to make it seem like we're ready and we're prepared, but kind of caught me out by left field. So yeah, I hated to do it, but I had no choice. Russia is second and China is at a distant third. But yeah, but we will be within 5 years. So we'll see how this continues to develop. This was the big news that is supposed to happen at any hour now. President Trump says that he is very much looking forward to meeting with Chinese president, which is supposed to take place in a few hours. Something to definitely look out for. And then just wanted to also show you the initial reactions on how markets reacted to Microsoft, Google, and then Meta. So again, pretty successful day overall in the sense of trying to capture all the madness that's going on in the market. It was a very busy day, but the rally and hype continues tomorrow. We have Amazon and Apple, two tech giants, trillion-dollar giants that are set to report earnings. And I want to remind you, did we get a hint about Amazon or for Amazon by Amazon announcing huge job cuts? Is it because maybe it's not making enough revenue in some areas that it needs to offset cost? Something to take into consideration, right? We'll see how things continue to develop. I'll see you tomorrow for our live trading session. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you guys don't already. It's the third link in the description down below. And again, if you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, it's the second link in the description down below if you want a little discount link. I appreciate your time. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team, and a happy Wednesday.